Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be checking out Dyad, a game that I've been really looking forward to. This is a psychedelic race-style game. I'm not exactly sure how to classify it, but I think that's often the best type of game when it comes to the Indie Impressions series. And this is one that I have a feeling is going to fit right in with some of the stranger ones that I've done on the channel. Of course, I have to give you one of those pretty big seizure warnings. I believe this one has quite a few psychedelic flashing lights, as you can tell from the slowly strobing, colorful title screen here. Well, I mean, it's not particularly dangerous at this point, but you get the idea. It's going to be pretty crazy once we start getting into things. You'll see we do have a series of trophies listed across the top left corner of the screen with 2.76 teraelectric volts, which are a measurement of energy, and you'll see that proceeds upward and onward as we get higher in the echelons of the level progression, and then we eventually end up at an infinite sign, Eye of the Duck, which I'm going to guess is an endless mode. Regardless, it's going to be very interesting. This is my very first time playing this game. It did come out on PSN, I believe it was over the summer, and is just now coming out, or just has come out on Steam. And I have a feeling this is going to be really fun. I do want to show you also very briefly configuration. I'd probably recommend you play this full screen if you're not bothered with the whole epilepsy issue. Raise the volume, get a 360 controller, kick back, biggest screen possible, I think is probably the type of thing you'd want to do. We do have, I didn't notice this before, we have a vertical sync option which can be set as wait, tear, or adapt. I'm not sure what the best thing to do there is, honestly. Wait? Oh, well, we gotta restart Dyad to make that change, so I guess we're not gonna do that. I also want to show you the credits very briefly, created by Sean McGrath, David Kanaga, who you actually remember is the half of the team of Proteus, which I was really surprised to find. I didn't actually realize he worked on this, so, I'm pretty psyched. So, of course, let me apologize if I butcher anybody's name here also, but Pekko Koshinen, Derek Tung, Jason DeGroot, and Matthew Kumar would be the rest of our developers. So let us actually start the game and give this sucker a try. This is my very first game. So new, first level, we've got 3 stars to accomplish. It's called Tune In. Objective, hook enemies to pull yourself through the tube. Mine enemy, X enemy. Alright, hook 6 enemy pairs to receive 3 stars. 2 stars, hook 4 enemy pairs. 1 star, hook 2 enemy pairs. Alright, I'm not sure exactly how the hooking mechanism works, but we will find out. So hook enemies by pressing A to pull yourself forward. Hook every spark before passing them. We're going to call them sparks, I suppose. So I am that beaming ball of light, and I want to press A to make sure I latch on. Okay. I think we can probably handle this. Hook every spark enemy to turn it gray. Hook enemies by lining them up by tapping A. Try not to let enemies pass you without hooking them. Oh, okay, we've got like a Tempest-style thing going on. Or maybe a little bit of audio surf, perhaps. Oh, this should be fine. I think we can handle this. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Alright, this is actually not too bad. There are actually sort of these little channels that we can ride in, which is reminding me a little bit of Frequency, or you may know it as, also, it's, what was it, Frequency and then Amplitude, I think was the second one. I think I missed one, but we're doing pretty good, I would say, so far. Alright, we've obtained 3 stars for that performance. Not too bad. I wanted to make sure I hook only violet enemies here, so we're going to actually mix things up now. Whoa, let's go around. It's super smooth, and the music, of course, is a huge attraction here. I think I passed one, unfortunately. But everything has a really nice, glowy, ethereal feeling to it. Everything just kind of vaporizes and fades away in different manners. I think I passed another one there. It's kind of hard to grab them when they're so far away, but at the same time I don't want to get too far, or too close rather, without at least attempting. Hook as many enemy pairs as possible, hook pairs of enemies for a speed boost, hook 2 sparks in a row, then either 2 more or an orange, or 2 orange. Alright, so I actually have to be like keeping track. Oh, I guess it's going to kind of keep track for me in a way. Alright, then we've hooked 2 more. See, now I'm just doing orange. Whoa. This is actually pretty fast-paced. I wasn't expecting that. I thought this would be a slower, more plodding little adventure journey. Whoa, okay, I've completely lost track of the track there. I guess I won. Enemy pairs hooked 12. Alright. I've successfully submitted my score to the leaderboards. Its current rank is 45. That's a little astounding to me, considering the game is actually available as of the time of this recording. We can press Y to view the score. Let's do that. So we've got Incubus at the top with 22 enemy pairs hooked. I assume that is a perfect score. Alright, so that was the first level. That was actually a little different from what I expected it to be, but definitely not bad or anything. Oh, we've got remix options. We can make it washed out, inverted, relativistic distortion, triggers equal music, infinite play, or speed equals music. Man, that's a lot of cool options we have to mess around with. So I guess I need to hit B to go back. Alright, so then Dyadic is our second level. If you haven't gotten the point yet, it's obviously a very highly music-oriented game. So I would definitely recommend turning the sound up real high if you're going to play this one. Hook as many enemy pairs as possible before racing to the end. Hook pairs of same colored enemies in a row to score a point. Hooking pairs gives you a speed boost. Alright, so we want to just make sure we hit the same colors, if at all possible. So let's see what we've got ahead of us. We've got a blue and an orange and an orange. Pair 1. Pair 2. Not sure it counted that other pair. That's okay, though. I think I actually was going a little too fast there and kind of passed one of them up. I don't know what you're actually playing as, but it's some sort of very strange, like, synapse ball of light, which I find quite appealing, actually. There's an orange, get a second orange. Oh, I got another orange by accident. It's weird that you can pass so many up, because I kind of got into the idea of having to hit every single one. But then again, I don't think that would be as much fun, because then you're just going to spend your whole time worrying about trying to hit these things and looking off in the distance. This sounds so good, and actually I'm totally hearing little bits of Proteus in it, which is just making me really happy. Again, this is my very first time playing. I feel like I'm already quite accustomed to this gameplay. And I managed to grab another pair at the end there, even though the game had already ended. So I got 25 enemy pairs hooked. Let's see, I got a rank of 80 this time. Maybe nobody cares about the first level as much because they all rushed through it or something, which is why my score was so high, I don't know. Race 3 sectors, hooking as many enemy pairs as possible while dodging enemies and bullets. We've got mines and square bullets. Alright, so we've got to dodge some square bullets. Avoid running into enemies and square bullets. You lose points if you collide into an enemy or square bullet. Okay. Let's give it a try. So, as I mentioned earlier, each level area actually has... Well, okay, this is going to be complicated to talk over. Each level has a progression to its, like, energy output, or, you know, the amount of, I guess, psychedelic behavior goes on in the level. Kind of hard to describe exactly what I'm talking about, but hopefully you understand. It just will get more wild as we go, at least that's what I assume based on those numbers. Which may be largely arbitrary, but I have a feeling they probably aren't. I actually don't think I avoided that enemy that time, but that's okay. You know, this is the kind of game where even if you screw up, you don't feel terribly bad, because, you know, it's not a huge deal to just replay. Wait, I forgot what I paired the other... Oh, it shows it right on the bottom, too. I'm also going to suspect that as you get further into the game, it wants you to pair more and more. At least that could be a possibility. I don't know, that's just kind of a guess on my part. Seem to be gravitating towards the orange ones. They seem to be a little bit easier to find. Oh, I got another pair there at the last moment. Next sector, let's go. Oh, already jumping into things. That was very fast. I love when you trigger them that it makes music along to the beat that you're setting up. Oh, I smashed that one. Alright, I could probably not do that again. Or should probably not do that again. I probably will do that again at some point. I think as long as you activate them, you're safe from smashing into them. That time I kind of matched those in reverse order, but that's fine. This is a very calming game, I have a feeling. I mean, even though it's moving along at a pretty fast pace, and there does appear to be a lot going on, at the same time, the music does sort of lull you into a bit of a trance, which is a really good formula for a lot of games that have capitalized on this sort of psychedelic behavior. Obviously thinking of games like Rez. But it even has like a little bit of a rock band feel to it in the fact that essentially what we're doing is matching notes. It's not exactly like that, but you know, it's a similar pattern anyway. Or similar style to the gameplay. So what did it say? There's 3 sectors in this one? And we're shooting for like an all-time high score amongst... Oh, I totally smashed that. Shooting for a high score amongst all 3 of those sectors, instead of just one little subsector, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, wow, that was really bad. Did all I have to do is... I just get to 22, because I'm at 46 now, and I was almost to 50 until I screwed up. If I was being a little bit faster, I think I could probably do a lot better than this, too. But I'm certainly spending a little bit of my mental faculties trying to parse what's going on in the game world, and also speak at the same time. Ah, I did it again. I'm telling you, if you ever have wondered, like, if you think you can do this kind of thing, like speak and play a game at the same time, you gotta try it, because it's a really strange thing it does to your brain at times. Alright, 56 pairs. I think I did okay. At the end, I'm always tempted to just hold the left stick in one direction and just keep hitting A and see if I get another pair out of it. So we've got current rank 88 on that one. And we are now at level 4, Admirable Virtues. So I think it said there were, what, 26 or 27 levels, which is pretty good. I think there's a decent amount of game to this in terms of just overall content, and then when you add on the fact that there's so much, you know, replay value in those little modifiers, I could probably keep doing that for a long time. Race both sectors as fast as possible. Pro tip, don't button mash, be deliberate with your moves. I should have probably looked at what the goals were there. Oh, different look to this level, which I quite like. Whoa. I am trying to be pretty deliberate, although I think I do accidentally button mash just a little bit. It actually feels really good when you start getting a chain combo going. The game's extremely smooth, and it's running at a really steady 60 frames per second, despite recording, which is something that I can't always say is the case. I'm really sticking to orange this time. I should really be mixing that up, because I could be doing a lot better if I was actually trying to capitalize on both sets of colors. And I'm a little worried that we're going to end up having even more sets of colors as we get further, because this is actually surprisingly stimulating enough. Just trying to keep track of where your last one was that you grabbed and avoid the other ones while still, you know, looking for your next in the chain of combos. Oh, I think I got... Alright, I turned that into a success there. It was a orange, blue-orange thing or something like that. You're gonna hit a few by accident. Oh, we've got charts now. Excellent. We have checkpoints and charts, and now we're actually racing for a high score in terms of time, which is pretty cool. So now I've got to do the next sector, and things actually ratchet up a little bit in intensity. As you can tell, the music just modulated a little bit, and definitely kicked up the feeling of urgency. The game actually does a great job of doing like a little bit of a fisheye effect, just long enough to give you time to hit that other part of a combo. I guess it's just a byproduct of the speed boost, but at the same time I think it works really well. I never feel terribly out of control, and I often think if I was concentrating even harder and was like operating at my peak efficiency, I could probably be hitting a lot more combos, which is pretty good because I don't think I'm going terribly slow at the same time, like even right now. And I always like games like this that are just super approachable. This doesn't seem like something that a lot of people would be like, well, I simply can't play this you know, it's impenetrable. The amount of knowledge required to get into it is just too steep for me. No, I mean, you rotate this shaft around, you're looking for orbs, and you go, and that's really it. Other than that, you can let yourself just think and enjoy the music and the atmosphere and the ambience, and just quickly become ensconced in what this has become. And I really am excited to see where this goes as we get further in. Alright, that performance towards the end there was a little lackluster, I must admit. But I'm sure I can do better. Did I actually make it into the top here? What did I get? Total score 2 minutes 33 seconds. Oh, and okay, together. So I missed the top score by 3 seconds and 3.62 seconds, which is not amazing, unfortunately. Alright, that's okay though. We can go back and hit that later on. Now we're going to move on to Magic Circle. I guess I'll either do like 1 or 2 more, or maybe I'll just finish out this first area. Or, I don't know what you want to call this, chapter? Alright, graze as many enemies as possible. So each area seems to have slightly different conditions on how to play, which is kind of nice, as it does mix it up. Hooking enemies creates a grazing circle around them. Alright, so I want to hook them and then almost touch them, but not completely. Let's see if we can do that. Move anywhere inside the circle without hitting the enemy in the center. Graze as many enemies as possible. Continue to hook pairs of enemies for speed boost. So I gotta do both. I don't even know how to really come up with that idea. Okay, so we've gotta do that and then run through the circle. Very interesting. Now if I... Okay, this is actually good. This is actually just gonna give me more options as to how to get speed boosts, I think. Oh, okay, I kind of screwed that pattern. Alright, there we go. I really like the sound that's happening when I pass through those circles. It's a really nice sound. I think I keep hitting the actual center, which is not what I want to do at all. This also reminds me a little bit of Lumines, which I don't think I've barely ever talked about, but is one of my favorite puzzle games. I spent a good, like, year trying to master that game, and must have bought it on at least 2 different platforms. I got it on Xbox Live Arcade, and I got it on PSP, of course, the original platform it was intended for. Wow, things are getting pretty silly down at the end there. Alright, I guess we finished that sector. How did I do? I don't even know. Okay, 24 enemies grazed. I feel kind of strange calling them enemies in a way, because really they're just a ball of light. Lance as many enemies as possible before racing to the end. Each enemy you graze gives you energy. You can spend this energy on the lance shot. Press X to lance. Lancing turns you into a weapon, killing all enemies in your path. It doesn't last very long, but every enemy you kill makes the lance last longer. Just try to hit as many enemies as possible. Don't forget to keep grazing. Alright, so now we've got like a super House of Dead Ninjas effect going on, where we need to like prolong our rage meter. You collect energy from each enemy you graze. You have 2 energy bars. Each full energy bar gives you 1 lance shot. Alright, the levels are getting a little bit more complex with all these conventions, but as far as I know, this is the last convention we need to learn. Line up behind enemies, press X to lance through them. You only need 1 full lance bar to lance. Try to lance lines of enemies to maximize your speed. Don't forget to graze enemies to collect shot. Alright, I'm sure this is going to become second nature, but at this very moment, it feels a little bit intimidating, knowing that I need to be both hooking, grazing, and lancing enemies all at the same time. I kind of just want to keep doing what I was doing, but let's try lancing this group here. There we go. That actually works. And as we start to get faster, things are going to just get easier, honestly. Things are just going to fall into place. We're going to start making combos, potentially by accident. Alright, there we go. I think that's more what we need to be doing. It's a little awkward, though, trying to line them up sometimes and graze them at other times. I wonder if there's a mode, like, where you can just, like, collect them. Not even try to, like, do anything. Or maybe just infinite lance meter, and you can just keep shooting down the tunnel as fast as you can go. There we go. Oh, that's nice. I'm certain there are ways you can just play this where you can just enjoy the ambience and not even have to worry about the gameplay conventions in the slightest. which is something I'm looking forward to doing, actually, just spending some time with this aesthetic, especially as it gets more chaotic, because I've seen some pictures of this, and my goodness, do they look freaking psychedelic. Some of the moments, like at the end here, this whole flashing lights thing that goes on, I think most of the levels towards the end start to just look like that. So I've lanced 27 enemies. I think that was fairly good for my first try doing that. And line them up is our next one. Lance 50 enemies as quickly as possible. Now, is that all I have to do? Oh, so I also have to graze enemies to obtain lance shot. Do I have to hook them, though? Yeah, I have to hook them, otherwise I'm not going to be able to graze them. Well, that is not how I do that. Oh, went through the center on that one. I did it again! The music just freaking takes off as soon as you do a lance move, which is kind of awesome. Oh, come on. I don't want to have to avoid the centers. Scumbag RockLeeSmile says, doesn't want to play the game by the conventions that are set up. That's pretty typical of me. Ah, I can't get that. Alright, things are way faster now. Maybe I was getting a little bit cocky at the beginning when I didn't know what I was getting myself into and thought, oh, hey, this looks pretty easy. We're just going to have a simple ball of light gathering situation. I don't even know what that means per se, but we're just going to proceed down some tunnels and look at some pretty lights, and that's going to be the end of the gameplay. Now there's actually some depth here. Not that I would have faulted it if that literally was the only thing that was going on. I actually find that strangely compelling as well, but I'm not your average gamer, I suppose. So I don't really expect developers to cater to my whims. Although I'm always happy when they do by accident. That's always a good time. This game is a terrific soundtrack, I have to say. I really do want to just enjoy some of this in the background while I'm doing Photoshop work or something. I think would be quite lovely. So I've reached 2 stars. And also, I believe the frequency and amplitude metaphor I was making before actually stands pretty strong with the whole star thing, and as well as the Rock Band one. I can't remember, was it stars that they used in frequency and amplitude? It might have been. I just remember shifting a lot and trying to memorize these ridiculous patterns on my PS2 controller. Pretending I'm playing Parappa the Rapper or something with, like, house trance beats. It's pretty wild. Still a good time, actually. I want to go back to that game one day. I don't know if I hardly ever talk about it on the show, but I do definitely have a soft spot for rhythm-based games. And granted, this isn't exactly one of those, but it's heavily music-based. And this is something I get into pretty easily. And when you have an aesthetic like this, it doesn't take a lot for me to be convinced that this is something I want to spend time on, so... granted, my propensity for this style of game might make me a little bit biased towards it, but I have a feeling you guys will probably be reasonably along for the ride. If the content on this channel is any indicator, it seems like you usually tend to enjoy this kind of a game. Also kind of making me want to play Audio Surf. Alright, I should probably be lancing some stuff, because I'm going extremely slow at this point. I have a vision in my head of what this should look and play like when I'm operating at my best, but I seem to just be really unable to accomplish that in this run for whatever reason. I just keep going through the center of them, because that just is like the thing you're naturally trained to want to do. And honestly, I'm playing pretty spammy at this point. In a way, when it does that rewind effect, which is reminding me a bit of DJ Hero, you know, when you screw up, it actually almost is contributing to the music. Oh, come on. This level's been going on way longer than it probably should have, because I just can't seem to lance enough enemies. I kind of forgot that that was really the goal I was supposed to be prioritizing, because these levels are not played the same. So don't make the same mistake as me, kids. If you play some Dyad, read the instructions for each level. There we go. It's another classic RockLeeSmile reading comprehension failure. I do that all the time. Sorry. Try my best, I promise. So I did so poorly at that level, I didn't even unlock the next level. I feel like I'm kind of obligated to do one more run then. because I really don't want to go out on that poor of a performance, especially now that I know that it was just because I simply wasn't reading instructions. Alright, I've got 1 bar. I thought I had 2 bars right when I started, but evidently not. Alright, there's that, and we'll grab that. There's another... Whoa! Okay, that was bad. Alright, hit a bunch of those. Lancing does not last as long as I wish it did, but like it said in the instructions, the longer I can prolong smacking into some enemies, the better chance I have at extending that combo, which is sort of helpful in every respect. Yeah, see, there we go. If I could just get a really long run of those, maybe that's really where the heart of this whole thing is. And when I'm doing the whole lancing dance, that is really when I can be playing this the way that I had anticipated in my mind that I probably would need to be playing this. It's not lasting nearly long enough. I really need to do a little bit more accurate lancing. Said everybody who's ever played Gears of War. That's a weird reference. Anyway, so let's finish this up strong. I think we're going to be doing a lot better this run. Totally spamming the A button at this point, I'm not going to lie. I feel bad about it to a small degree, but in another sense, you know, I think it's actually serving me pretty well right now. I could be lancing way more often than I am. At least I think so. Oh, there we go. I really want to be propelling myself and building up momentum, which right now I'm not doing very well. Almost to the end. It's really hard to keep track of all of the different features I need to be, like, monitoring as I'm trying to parse the level. Or, you know, the patterns, I should say, because there's not really much in the way of a level here. It's really just sort of ambient colors and patterns. There we go. Alright, so I did a bit better that time. I at least got 2 stars, which is, you know, not terrible, but not particularly great either. What would it have taken to get perfect? It would have been 1:30. I got 2:10. So clearly there's room for improvement. I ranked 159 right now on this, which is tolerable, I would say. Granted, I'm still learning what I'm doing. So, I think we're going to take this moment to wrap up Dyad. Obviously, I'm pretty emphatically interested in this game. I think you guys probably should be as well, but that is entirely up to you what kind of stuff you're into. I think this is a fairly ubiquitous, excellent music pattern, textures, ambient, I don't know, really cool game. Psychedelic, a lot of fun. Go check out Dyad. It's on Steam right now. Link's going to be right in the description of the video. Go click through there and see what you can see. Let me know, of course, what you think about games like this. I find these very palatable myself, but I do understand if it's not the type of thing that everybody's into, although maybe I wish it was, but, you know, that's just me anyway. I have very particular tastes, as you may have picked up on by now. But that is going to wrap us up for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to head on over to my website, which is indie-impressions.com, so you can check out all the old episodes in the series. They're all neatly categorized for you with tags and distribution methods and platforms and all of that good stuff. So if you want to go browse all the Steam games, the Desera games, the exclusively free games, different genres are all open for the sorting and filtering. So go over there and check that out, as well as the forums, which are also on that site as well. Also, Facebook.com/IndieImpressions. If you want to go over there, leave a like on the page. It's entirely up to you, but you will get every day's new update delivered into your Facebook stream, as well as occasional channel updates and news. And sometimes I do game giveaways or contests there. I haven't done one in a little bit. I'm going to probably be doing something soon again, because I feel like it's gone a little long. I did a big giveaway for the 365 Days of Indie Impressions celebration that we had on live stream. But since then I haven't done any more game giveaways, so I really do need to get that underway. Anyway, aside from the Facebook page, though, I've also got a Twitter handle, which is @RockLeeSmile, so if you ever want to just say, hey, suggest a game, talk about what's going on with indie games and you, or if you're an indie developer and you want to maybe mention your game to me on the possibility that I might cover it on the show, you can either say hey via the Twitter handle, Or if you want to send me an email, there's actually a contact form right on the website. And of course, all my social media links as well as the purchase link for this game are available right in the description of this video. So if you missed anything, don't feel too bad. Just head on down there and see what you can find. Again, that is going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope you come back again tomorrow for another awesome indie game. I do a new episode every single day. I'm going to continue doing it as long as I can, and with your support, who knows where it'll go. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely night.